one of the important things for people to know that even I had to understand was if you have gifts and you are a servant of God or you're a Christian, you don't have to use your gifts in the church.
No.
And that's a misconception for a lot of, not just people, but a lot of people in the church will try to convince you of that, that you have to use your gifts inside of the church. And if you're not, then you're not truly serving.
Right.
That's not true. Welcome back to another episode of the Christ Culture Podcast. I am your host, Calvin.
I'm Erica.
And we are joined by a special guest today, Jordan. What's going on, bro?
Not much. How y'all doing?
Good. We will get into your introduction in a moment.
Okay.
First of all, I like the Lakers shirt.
Thank you.
I can't really say I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a LeBron fan. So by default, I'm a Lakers fan right now.
Okay.
But I do like the shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll introduce him in just a second. I'll let Erica do that. But we always start with our check-in. So we do a check-in every week.
Okay.
Just how's your last week been?
It's been, I would say, up and down. Well, it started a little bit down and got up.
Okay.
So, I quit my job.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Just go straight into it
Yeah.
I just quit my job.
I quit my job, and that was actually good for me because it was not good at all.
Yeah.
It was unhealthy. Remember, I was telling you guys last week, I said, yeah, I worked there, but it was so much, and it was just a distraction. So that was what was kind of the down part. The ups part is I was able to, after I quit, I was able to get myself checked at, doctor and stuff, see where I'm at, and, now it's just all about what's next.
Yeah.
So that's where.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So you excited about what comes next?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
Definitely.
What about you, Erica?
I'm not gonna say life been lifing, guys.
But here's the thing, though. Every week you say, I'm not going to say that. But then you're saying
I still say
you say
it.
it.
But no, my week has been full of trials, I would say. But it's been good, bad, tiring. But I mean, I guess that's just the season that you can be in.
Yeah.
But how's your week?
It's been interesting.
Elaborations.
So I'm leaving my job. I've been there for quite a while, so my whole reality is about to change. And I have to choose my words very carefully because I'll just say this. Sometimes you find out how people truly feel about you when you stand up for yourself.
I understand. This is so true.
Yep.
A lot of individuals will do a lot of lip service about how they feel about you. And you can be the greatest thing since sliced bread until you open your mouth and ask for what you're worth. And then all of a sudden,
I don't like you.
Yep.
You're the enemy. Yeah.
So been experiencing a little bit of that, but just been staying even keel. And I'm nervous, anxious, excited, all the emotions about, going into a new job. So I've been in IT for 8 or 9 years now, so quite a while. And I'm currently in a leadership position, but over a small team. But this new job is going to be I'm going to be over a team of 25. So
that's exciting and nerve wracking.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's a big change to have that many people looking to you for the answers.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to take that next step in my career, and I'm grateful to God for the opportunity. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm
been
excited
that,
for
but
you.
on top of all the normal holiday, I've been at the stores trying to buy holiday gifts. Last weekend, my fiance's niece got baptized here.
Oh,
So we were together with the whole family for that, and then we took them to Dave and Buster's afterwards, and so it's just been a lot of hecticness going on in life. But that's this time of year. That's how it goes. Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Have you guys done all your Christmas shopping?
last minute.
Yeah.
We definitely did everything last minute.
I still got to get a few more last minute. Even when it comes to Christmas shopping, I'm kind of procrastinating.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of guy last minute best. It's always the best deals. So I'm trying to find that last best deal. And so
Last item in the store.
last item. See if I can get it for an extra percentage off. Just being cautious with it. in a good way.
But I went to Kohl's today to buy my niece a toy. Everything in Kohl's is on sale, and they have 25% off of basically everything, except for Leapfrog toys. And it just so happened that I had a Leapfrog toy, so I'm like, all these deals in here, and I don't get no
The Leapfrog.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was so. But it's my niece. What can I do?
You know, why not?
Yeah,
For the love of it.
for sure. So I think we got a good topic for today.
We do, guys.
We've been working through all these emotions each week. And today we decided we're going to talk about pride.
Yeah.
Which is a big one. I've spoken about pride on many episodes on here.
Right.
So I'm excited to get into it. But before we do that, Erica, you want to first introduce Jordan? And then Jordan will let you talk about yourself a little bit. Okay.
I don't know if I'll just put the camera on me, but I'll just put it on you.
You can do back and forth if you can.
But no, this is Jordan. Me and him, we've known each other for maybe like about over 4 years. We went to high school together. But we got really, really close, I would say, like in the last 3 years. 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now he's here, guys.
Here. Yeah. So yeah, it's been like almost. Yeah, we really gotten close in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like we went to school with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went with her and her brother.
Okay.
You know, I actually knew more of her brother than her.
Ah.
And then like one day she came in, and when I was working at T-Mobile, she came in and I thought she looked familiar. And she had this is during like COVID. So she had her face mask on. And like she was like, "You look familiar." And then we was talking like, "What school?" And we was like, we went to the school we went to. I was like, "Oh." And then automatically when she said that, I named her brother. I was like, "Is he your brother?" She was like, "Yes." Because like we used to ride the same bus.
Yeah.
Everything.
Literally live like right across the street.
Yep. 5 minutes down the street.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, dang, this whole time. I never knew. And she actually, I grew up like in church, but not like, really wasn't. I was, how it is. Your parents go to church, but she was the one. Her mom and her brother was the one that helped me get back on track and like fully get my life to Christ.
That's dope.
So it was pretty cool, and like the timing was everything, because during that time I was going through a lot. Yeah, and like I told her, I was like, I want the best for myself. Yeah, and then like she was slowly like throw things in there, and then one day it was just like boom. It was instant.
Wow. Yeah. So you going to the same church now?
Yeah, I go to PLM.
Okay.
Yeah, practical living ministry.
Yeah.
And
that's the church we spoke at.
Yeah.
Okay. So we go to that church.
Yeah, that's where Bishop Kenneth Jones. Yeah, he's like my mentor. Yeah. So he's been helping me get close into my word.
That's dope.
Yeah. So it's great over there. Yeah. It's pretty good. I got my mom to go over there too.
What?
Mm-hmm. Because my mom is so like old school. Like if she goes to one place, she's gonna stay there. Mm-hmm. So she was like, "We already go to the church." It's like, "Mama, we ain't been there in years." And she was like, "Fine." Brought her there. She was like, "Wow, it's closer to home," and she likes it. Yeah, and she feels like welcomed. Yeah,
that's good.
It's dope. Look at you, Erica, saving souls out here.
Man, that's in my Instagram bio. Saving one soul at a time.
Yeah. So I remember meeting you when we spoke there last year, but I didn't know if you went to the church or you were just there for the event. So.
Oh yeah, I was there. I went to the church.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I remember when she was preparing for the whole thing.
Yeah,
I was trying to find out what she was talking about. She wouldn't let me go near anything because like she had everything so like kept secret and everything. Nothing. Yeah.
So are you our minister? Or are you thinking you're going to be a minister?
Whatever God says,
Boy, please.
Well, because I have I took a ministerial class, and I have the certificate, and I'm a I forgot the name of that real quick. I'm an adjutant.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was about to say the other like a adjacent. Yeah. But I'm an adjutant.
You're adjacent ankle.
I'm an adjacent ankle. I'm an adjutant, so like I'm in the steps of it and stuff. And if it's willing, that would be good for it, because not everyone can be a pastor and stuff.
Trust me, I know.
Definitely that.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, but it's been pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I would say out of the 23 years, I feel better now since I gave my life to Christ, because you do need him. And like, even when your life is like doing something with the ministry, even if you're not a minister or anything, your life is going to get way much better.
Yeah.
Definitely that.
Yeah. I know we're going to talk about pride, but just something that you just said, one of the important things for people to know that even I like had to understand was, if you have gifts and you are a servant of God or you're a Christian, you don't have to use your gifts in the church.
No.
And that's a misconception for a lot of, not just people, but a lot of people in the church will try to convince you of that, that you have to use your gifts inside of the church. And if you're not, then you're not truly serving.
Right.
That's not true.
Not at all.
So there are some singers who are, ordained to sing, and they're going to save souls, not in the church, in the club. They're going to save souls singing in the club, not at the church. But yeah. So
then that leads me with a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So it goes hand in hand with our topic on pride. Throughout you guys this week, how have you guys faced pride?
This last week?
This last week, how were you faced with pride? And how did you overcome it?
Pride in this last week. I would have to say what's going on at my job. Just some of the things that were like said and done. It's easy to become prideful and like want to let your ego stand up for you and start talking. And there's been a lot of moments where God has just convicted me, like, I don't care how people around you act. I hold you to a certain standard.
That's good.
So in those moments, I have to be like, I can't go down to where they are.
Yeah.
Even though it's okay for them to do, God holds me to a different standard.
That's true.
Which is aggravating in certain moments. But
definitely.
Yeah, I would have to definitely say that situation with my job.
It doesn't matter what they think. It's about what God thinks, and He's holding you to it. So I would say that was probably one of the things.
Yeah.
That just trying to have that thought of saying I'm not a quitter.
Yeah.
And don't want to be thought as a quitter, and trying to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Definitely that.
Yeah. It's easy for your pride to jump out in front and start trying to defend you. So Erica, how about you? How have you faced pride this week?
I would say, I would kind of describe it as when you have your own feelings. So I was faced, like I was saying in the beginning, with different trials and stuff. So for me, it could basically be me being stuck in my own way. And not, basically it goes hand in hand with not putting trust in God when you're going through different trials and stuff. So me, whether being it being hard to trust what God is saying about a situation, and me trusting my own thoughts about the situation.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Let's I want to look at what the actual definition of the word pride is. So according to the dictionary, the word pride means a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. That's interesting.
So I feel like that can be taken in two ways then. So is that saying that there could be good pride and then also bad pride?
I think for sure.
Okay.
I think you should take pride in certain things.
Exactly.
In your life. You should take pride in the standards that you uphold, for yourself. You should take, pride in the way that you treat people. You should take pride in the way that you steward the things that God gives you. But it can also hurt you when you're, too prideful and too proud of your own achievements and all the things that you've done and who you are, and you kind of get a big head. I've definitely dealt with that before when it comes to like achievements or just, accomplishing things or whatever the case is, just having to like check myself like, hey. The number one thing that I always do now actually is I always make sure to check myself in the moment. Like, hey, you didn't accomplish that. God did.
Yeah.
And you would have never did that
good.
without God. That was one of the big things that I had to work on. That actually came through like a lot of therapy and different things like that. But just really, really trying to check myself. Like, hey, you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, on your own. You're incapable of doing things on your own. So
Mm-hmm.
just make sure to give God the honor and the praise that He deserves.
That's good.
Yeah. So there's a scripture in Proverbs, Proverbs 16 actually, that says, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." I heard that scripture growing up all
so
the
many
time.
times, man.
What do you guys think that means? Like when you hear that pride goes before destruction, why do you think that God would have included that in one of the proverbs?
Do you want to go first?
You want to go first on this one? I'm still learning. Actually, yeah, I'll go first. Pride, sometimes, because I look at it as like pride can lead to your downfall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's how their pride is. That's also too, like how we talking about good pride and bad pride.
Mm-hmm.
So if like good pride can lead to your uprising, if you know you're following the steps, it's right. But the pride, like when you just have that prideful in you and you're not listening, that's what causes the downfall and everything.
Yeah.
I hope I got that right. That makes sense.
No, I definitely get that. I would say, read that scripture one more time.
Yeah. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall.
So pride before the destruction part.
Mm-hmm.
One, when you are prideful, God is nowhere in that equation.
Yeah.
So when you're taking your own steps, when you're not consoling God, when you're not confiding in Him, asking Him, what should I do next? You're going to just follow yourself by destruction because His covering is not even over you at that point.
Yeah.
A haughty spirit, that's just a whole nother thing in itself. I can kind of compare that to when a person has like narcissistic characteristics and stuff. When you have like a haughty spirit, that's basically just leading you straight down a rabbit hole into just nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely say all of that goes hand in hand with each other, of why this is all going to lead down to a fall and destruction.
Yeah, I can definitely understand why the scripture says that pride goes before destruction. It's basically because when you begin to start to believe that you can do things in your own strength,
Right.
that's the beginning of the destruction right there. Because at some point your strength, your resources, your ability is going to run out. That's why I believe the scripture says that, you know, His strength is made perfect in our weakness. He wants us to come to the point where we realize we can't do it on our own anymore. And when you're a very prideful individual, you think you can do everything by yourself.
Right.
You think you don't need help. Especially like for men, like that was one of the things that I struggled with for a lot of my life, was just like, no, I got it. I can do it. I don't need no help. I don't need nobody to come here and help me. And that was one of my biggest downfalls, was like, because when I finally got to a place in my life where I had no choice but to ask for help, I had no idea how to ask. I had no idea what to do.
Yeah, I get that.
I was just like, I was stuck. So yeah, I can definitely understand why red pride would come before destruction. Have you ever, Jordan, I'm going to come to you for a second. Have you ever had a situation in your life where you were too prideful and it was detrimental to you? Yeah.
Multiple times. I would say it's definitely asking for help for like just things in general. I would say for me it was recent, maybe a few years back. Is when I was starting to get to know Bishop Kenneth Jones, right? Growing up I didn't really have a father figure. So when it came to asking for stuff, like either I would ask my mom, and if my mom's like ask somebody else, I wouldn't do it because I was like, no. And so when I started getting closer, starting to get to know him, like there were certain things that I had questions of, and like Erica would tell you, and I'd be like, nah, I won't ask. And she's like, why? Because it's like, because I was trying to do it my way, and you know, just trying to like how to do like a man thing, you know, just trying to figure out how to, you know, if it's a car question or if it's like just a life question in general.
Yeah.
It was just me being like prideful about it. And then when I went up to him and I asked him, it was a big relief because I was like, wow, this whole time.
Yeah.
If I just listened throughout my life, like with like other male, throughout like any male, other older male figures, if I just asked that question, because literally once you just let it go, it's easy. Like let that question out, it's like a big relief. And it kind of made me look back. I was like, if I asked for help with anything, if it was like something to do with finances, with a test, or help me getting something, I feel like I would be in a better position. Well, I ain't gonna say better position, but I would have a different outcome for those things.
That.
Yeah.
And so when asking him for stuff, I was like, wow.
Yeah. So I'm curious, and I'm very curious to hear Erica's perspective on this. Why do you guys think it is that specifically men are so prideful? Now, I'm not saying exclusively. You know, some women are prideful as well. I'm not
Definitely
saying
that.
Just specifically for men, we a lot of times are very prideful creatures. Why do you think that is?
I would say God made a male a provider. So this is just me. Y'all don't come for me. So
we might, depending on what you say.
Yeah, depending on.
We'll see.
No, but no, God made men the provider. So I would think that that's already in your nature. As far as like being a provider, wanting to take care of different things, that's in your nature already. So if you're in a position of where you're not able to do that, then I would feel like that's automatically going to make a male more prideful.
Yeah.
Because no, I'm the provider. Why am I going to go to a woman for help? Like, why? I'm supposed to be providing for you. So I would feel that that's in your nature. So
yeah,
it'll come out in a certain way, and you just got to put it in check.
Yeah, I saw a meme the other day on TikTok, and it was like, it was a woman, and she was like, "This is me sliding my man the credit card so he can pay." So it don't look like he don't.
No, I seen that one. They were in the drive-thru.
I was like, wow. What about you, Jordan? Why do you think men are so prideful?
It's definitely, it could be one of the reasons of like what could be said to them. Like, you know, growing up, you know, you're going to be the man of the house one day. You know, you got to do A, B, and C on your own. And when you start taking that, you'll start having that with you throughout your life. So if you're struggling at some point, you're like, no, because I'm going to be the man of the house. I need to do this. I need to do that. And you get so stuck on that, and you don't realize how you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Because also, too, is God places people in your life for some of the things that you're weak
for.
Yeah.
And so if he knows you're weak in something, there's going to be someone that's going to come to your life and help you with that.
Yeah.
That's true.
But like, you know, when you're so prideful, you know, that's kind of like being blind too.
Yeah.
Because then that person's not there anymore. You're like, dang, I need help with this. I wish I would have done that.
Yeah.
And so like it, like how she said, God made men to be the provider. But also too is we also, as providers, we do need to listen as well, because we can't go off of our own instincts and stuff. You know, that's where parents are for, or other older people, because they went through that. So they can tell the younger people about this and that.
Yeah.
You know, especially like when you have our parents, they'll tell us like, hey, I did this when I was your age. If I was your age now, don't do it. You know, so that's what people are there for. You still can be a provider, and you can still listen, because that's how everybody grows. Yeah. You got to be quick to listen. Yeah.
I think there's something definitely about what you both said about men being the provider. I definitely think that's the root of a lot of the pride, specifically because when men are put into a position where their ability to provide, and when I say provide, I don't just mean monetarily. Right. I mean like anything that a man is supposed to provide for a woman, for his family, for, you know, those who look up to him, whoever it is. If he feels as though those around him don't think he can, right, he begins to feel inadequate. And a lot of the times, the way that's dealt with is with a prideful nature. Yeah. It's almost like his ego sticking up for him. Like, no, I can take care of it. I can handle it. It's because he doesn't want to seem inadequate in the eyes of those around him.
So trying to prove yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but the other thing you were talking about was, both of you were talking about, was just kind of the accepting help part of it. And I think that one of the things that we really have to remember as men is, yes, God made us to be the provider and the protector and all those things, but he was very clear in the Bible when he made woman and he said, this is your helper.
Yeah.
I could say something with that part, how
Yeah.
a woman can be prideful.
Okay.
I would definitely say, you know how you guys have heard like a woman can be like, I don't need a man. I don't need, like, basically, okay. To me, like what God has already said, man is not meant to be alone.
Yeah.
So if you just take that, that's just not talking about a man,
Right.
a woman.
Yeah.
But you're not meant to be alone.
Yeah.
So if you're basically rejecting any person, say that God wants to bring Michael B. Jordan into your life. You're like, no,
Hold on, why
I
you
don't
use Michael B?
don't worry about that. But but like, say that like God is wanting to bring somebody into your life for a specific thing.
Yep.
And that woman is basically rejecting any type of help that God is trying to bring because it's a man.
Yeah.
So women can think that they can do it all by themselves. They brought life into the world, so why do you need a man? Men are just trying to degrade you. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to add on to that too. Like, another reason why men can also be prideful too is when you grow up in like a single mother household. Like, so like for me, I didn't really see a man provide in the household for my mother. I seen my mom get it. So also too is that when you're a young male in the household and you see that, you're gonna have that kind of same mindset as well. Like, you know, I don't need nobody because my mom did it. And so when you're starting to do it, you have that, you start to get prideful because also too is one, a lot of people, I'll say I'm a mama's boy. I don't like seeing my mom struggle when it comes to stuff. So I'm gonna be like stubborn, make sure I'm gonna get everything that she wants.
Yeah.
So I look at it as like, nope, I already got here so far. I don't need nothing else for it. I don't need your help for this neck because nobody helped her. And so I don't need nobody's help. I'm gonna do it for her.
Yeah.
And
I get that.
yeah, so that's why a lot of men be prideful because they want to give the people who they love the whole world, and they kind of like shut people out because they was like, I don't need y'all.
Yeah.
And they still have that mindset like they're still there by themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it also comes because of hurt. Like, you could have been hurt so many times where you put up so many walls around you. And if anybody, like, I know for me, like, if you've been hurt so many times, somebody tries to come in and start telling you something. It's like, what are you telling me something for?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even trying to hear you. It's you being stubborn.
Yeah. I was gonna say if I could share a story about what happened with me and you, it like
Okay.
It must be a good story if you had asked for permission.
so
Oh gosh.
this was like 2 years ago. So she knows about me. I'm into like that credit stuff, like, you know, like finances and everything. So we was talking about like credit scores and stuff. And I was telling her, asking her about her credit score, and she was like, she didn't really know too much about it. So I was trying to tell her and stuff, and so she was like getting defensive about it and everything. And because also too is like she had like, it's not me putting spicy. She had like that pride on there because like, what you trying to say? You trying to say I don't know anything about the finance and nothing like that? Like, no, I was just telling her and like advices on what to do, this and that, and I was showing her, and she had like that defensive on her, that defensive like wall in front of her.
Yeah.
Because like just from before, like, you know, I know people has approached her making her thinking she don't know anything or something like that. For me, I was just looking at it as like, oh yeah, let me show you about this and that. And if you don't know, I'm gonna show you so you don't have to like figure it out on your own. I can help you. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I remember she definitely was vocal about it.
Not vocal.
Well, she was just like, okay, like that's how she was. She was like, okay, I don't really need to know all that. And then a day later, that's when she like came and she was like, actually, I do want to know more about this and stuff. So she kind of like took down that defensive wall and that pride. Yeah. And was listening up because, you know, she thought she was being attacked, but now she realized.
Yeah. You know, that's something that I think a lot of us have dealt with before. One of the things that I know I had to deal with in myself when it came to pride was, have you ever met an individual who, say you're trying to tell them something or you're just trying to help them with something and they keep responding with, I know?
Ooh.
I know. And I was like that before. For example, when it comes to stuff like technology, if anybody was trying to tell me something about a piece of technology and it was something that I already knew, I felt the need to tell them that I already know that.
Yeah.
And that was like a pride thing. Like, I can't have you thinking that I'm inadequate or don't understand it when I do.
Yeah.
And that was something that I really had to work out in myself.
Yeah.
Was like, even if they're telling you something, just listen. It's okay.
Exactly. Oh dang, you came from my soul.
it's like I don't need to go out of my way to try to get them to understand that I know something.
Yeah.
Especially like in the professional world, like in my job, for example. I'm overseeing a small team currently, and it's about to be a bigger team. And there are times where those who I'm over will be telling me something, and I'm sitting there like, I know I taught you what you're telling me right now.
Yeah.
But it does them nor me any good for me to sit there and just be like, I know. And the other thing that I learned with that is a lot of the times, if you just listen to people, you'll end up learning something.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If you just listen to them long enough.
Yeah.
Because even if it's something that you already know, they're going to have a different perspective on it.
That is so true.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like a pet peeve of mine when I'm like saying something to somebody and they just, I know. And I'm like, I understand that, but maybe you don't know this part, little intricacy that I may know, or vice versa. So I just try to listen to people and not feel that need to be like that.
That made me think of something. So like you said, when you're in the professional world and if you like with you have an IT position, like you govern over like different people and stuff.
Yep.
In order for you to obtain that position, you have to be teachable.
Yes.
So it's not like you're not in a position of where you could say, I know.
Yeah.
I know this.
Yeah.
You have to go through steps. So for me, dealing with like behavioral technician, that's what I do. So when you're dealing with like different children that may have like disabilities and different things like that, I have to strategize like a little game plan thing. But in order for me to do that, you have to basically, you're putting yourself out there. You have to go and ask for help.
Yeah.
You have to learn and listen to other people. You got to do it, or that's where the destruction's also going to come in.
Yeah. Pride will make you stagnant in your life. If you allow it to be what controls you, it'll make you stagnant for that very reason. If you're an I know person, then all you're going to know is what you know right now.
That is true.
You're never going to learn anything else. You're never going to move forward if you just keep telling, I want to go back for a second to a thought that we were talking about earlier. And Erica, you were kind of talking about it from a woman's perspective, but I think it's women and men sometimes, and it's that whole demeanor that certain individuals will take on. Like, I don't need any help. I can do it all by myself. I don't need no man. I don't need no woman, like whatever the case is.
Right.
And I want to just offer a different perspective. And it's not that you need a man or a woman. It's that you're not meant, like you said, to be by yourself. And it made me think of a quote that I heard once. I have this long note in my phone. I call it my wisdom note.
Post it on the side of the screen.
And whenever I hear something that I like just in life, I'll go add it to this note. So the note just gets longer and longer.
I love that.
But anyway, I heard this quote. Where'd it go? I just had it. Okay. So this quote was from a guy named Chris Voss. He has a book that I read too. But the quote basically says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go as a team. And that quote just spoke to me so much because...
Well, that's good.
That's good.
Because it's like, if you want to go fast, if you're just trying to get from point A to point B, the quickest way to do that is to take the lightest craft. You need the least weight on you as possible. You're just trying to get somewhere. But what are you going to accomplish doing that? How much are you going to actually learn when you're trying to do everything by yourself? How much can you actually accomplish versus how much can 10 people accomplish if they're working towards the same goal? And that was a big part of me dealing with my pride, was just like, yeah, if I want to try to get all these achievements and do all these things, I can try to do it by myself. But then guess what? I'm going to end up there by myself with nobody to celebrate with.
Right.
How good is that going to be? And if I want to go far, if I want something to have some longevity, then I should, bring up the people around me. You know what I mean? there's a Jay-Z song. I don't know what song it was, but he was basically saying we measure success by how many people are rich around you.
Oh yeah.
And I love that so much. It's like, if I see you and you're just a millionaire and everybody around you is broke, that says a lot about you.
Yeah.
But if I see you and you're a millionaire and all your boys are 100,000aires and they got houses and you're teaching them all this stuff, that says a lot about you as well. So, yeah, that just made me think of that when we were talking about that. Have you guys dealt with that in your life? Just trying to do stuff by yourself versus a team, and what has been the difference between the two in your life?
One, when you do it by yourself, there's more stress to it because
that's a good point.
You're doing it, trying to do it from every perspective.
Yeah.
When it's a team, it's going to be from different perspectives that's leading into one.
Yeah.
So, I know for me, when I was in school, there was times if I knew a topic, I would want to do it by myself. But when we do a group project, I realized like how quick everything goes. Because when you're trying to do everything by yourself, it's going to take I feel like it may like be even longer because you're trying to think of so many ideas. You're trying to think of this.
Yeah.
While other people is when you're with other people, they have ideas. You're going to bring them to the table and it's going to click.
Yeah.
And it's faster that way.
Yeah.
The more hands, the better.
Yeah.
And so when you like get older in life, you're going to have to put that I know to the side. Someone's trying to teach you about credit or how to get a house and all that stuff. You may do all the research and stuff like that, but usually the people who's telling you is in that field, been through that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you need to take that wall down, that pride wall down, and do it. Because it's the same thing when you're walking with Christ.
Yes.
You can't do that because, like, I know I'm guilty of it. When I first started, I was like, learning stories in the Bible and stuff. And sometimes when other people will say, "Oh, I read that already. I read that," but like you're not hearing it because, like how you said, they're explaining it in a different way.
Yeah.
And when usually if someone's trying to explain it, there's a message in there.
That's true.
But you're being so like kind of stubborn about it. Like, I know about that story.
That's
already.
good.
Yeah. So
For sure.
Especially when it comes to the Bible, because you can read one story and get 100 different
over.
meanings and sermons out of it. So
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys this question: in your personal lives, like for yourself, how do you identify when you're becoming prideful? What types of thoughts do you start to have? What things do you hear yourself saying when you have to come to a moment like, oh, let me stop for a second. I'm feeling myself a little too much.
This is something that I have to check myself with. Like I've been checking myself with this consistently. I can start to basically get annoyed by what you're saying. So say that like you're just saying something. It really doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
You're saying something. It's like, okay, one, I feel like you're either talking in a circle and I just don't want to hear you anymore. So I have to like consistently check myself and think about, okay, this person could potentially just be trying to fully get their thought out.
Yeah.
And I just have to be patient and just listen and not basically be like, okay, shut up now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about you, Jordan?
If I'm in like say if I get into like a disagreement with like my mother and she's trying to tell me something, sometimes like it'll be in the heat of the moment and I'll just be like, I already know, I understand, and this and that. But then after when it's done, sometimes I'll think back and I'm like, hold on, if I would have just listened and hear what she was trying to say, then I can understood it. But instead I was getting prideful and also getting defensive. So it's kind of the same thing what she was saying about getting annoyed and stuff. And when I looked at it as a parent not understanding, because when you're in two different generations, so sometimes parents not going to understand. But when she's telling me something, that's where I got prideful, because I'm like, you don't get it because we're in two different generations and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's what you have to listen. You have to be quick to listen.
Yeah.
Because they're going to speak something. Even though two different generations, they're going to speak something. It's going to stick to you.
Yep.
And you got to like really listen up. and that was with not just her, but like other people too.
Yeah.
I would say, and I definitely got convicted after that. Because of that, I was like, yeah, I should have not did all that hassle of arguing and stuff. Just listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much that comes out of listening. One of the things that I also, well, let me just say this first. In myself, one of the things that, I have to check from time to time is when I start hearing myself use the word I. That's a very practical thing. When I start to hear the word I in my thoughts a lot, or I hear myself saying it a lot, that's when I check myself. Like, hold up, wait a minute. You didn't do that. God did that through you.
Yeah.
So for anybody who maybe just be like, how can I know if I'm being too prideful or if I'm struggling with pride? Are you using the word I all the time? Yeah. So when you start to hear yourself using the word I a lot, that's, for me personally, that was one of the things that I had to do. Was recognize when I was using the word I, and remember the role that God plays in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to go to the other side of pride for a second, because we've been kind of talking about it from a negative side, like when you become too prideful. Well, what about when you need to take pride in something? When pride is a good thing for you. How has that played a role in your life?
I would say, well, just to answer the first part of your question, a positive way that pride could affect you is when you are taking pride in, whether it's like you doing your hair or you making sure that you look presentable when you go out.
Yeah.
You're taking pride in different things that you do. A lot of people can mistake it as like you're being arrogant or conceited, because like if a person knows I look good, it's good for you to take pride in yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Taking care of yourself, presenting yourself like as a trophy, like you look good. Uphold yourself and know your worth.
Yeah.
So if you know your worth, it's good for you to have pride.
Yeah.
That's true.
What about you?
I would say, yeah, like it's like walking with authority. Like,
I get that.
Like, like you're that person.
Yeah.
And like sometimes even if someone's trying to bring you down, that's where your good pride comes in and be like, I already know what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Someone tries to tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that. I believe I can do it. That's another good pride, because sometimes people will they'll take their own negativity pride and try to use that against someone else. So if someone wants to do something, they'll have like, because maybe they went through that and they fell down and stuff, and they was just like, I don't know why you trying it, because it's hard and stuff like that. But you can be like, actually, I feel like I can do it. I can do it. I feel like I have a really good shot at this. You prepared yourself for it. Or like even when like you work on yourself, like if you're going to the gym and everything and all that, like you take pride in that, because he's like, I want to look good because I feel good when I'm doing it. That's just you feeling confident in yourself. And what like say if you know something, this is gonna kind of sound weird how we talking about the I know part. But let's say if God told you something, and then you hear someone else say that like opposite of it, that's where you can use the I know part.
Yeah.
Like, I get that.
Like, I know this, I know that, I know because God told me that.
Yeah.
When someone else tries to say it, that's where you can kind of bring up like, I already know, man. I already know. Like, that's where you can kind of bring in. I kind of look at it as a good pride, because you're not letting that negativity hit you or a different truth try to hit you.
I
on
get
that
that
perspective.
Yeah, I definitely think when I think of the good side of pride, it comes with standards in your life when you uphold a certain standard.
For sure.
For example, if you get a new house or a new apartment, you should take pride in how you upkeep it. You should keep it clean. Like you said, the way you look, those types of things. Just taking pride in the things that God gives you, the gifts that you have, all those different things. I think it's important to take pride in that. Especially the thing about how you look. People make so many judgments and so many decisions based on how you look when you come up to them or when you're around them. You'll get many opportunities if you look presentable.
Right.
Whereas a lot of people will not even think to give you an opportunity if you look a certain way when you approach them.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for me. I make sure, like, before I walk into work, I make sure my shirt's straight and my pants are, laying the right way, and I'm not just walking in looking crazy or, in a rush or anything. Like, I take pride in those things. I take pride in cleaning the home that God blessed me with. I take, pride in taking care of the car that He blessed me with. I take, pride in being a provider. Like, all those different things. I think it's important to take pride in it because it helps you to uphold a certain standard.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
that is true.
I think that can go hand in hand with knowing your worth.
Yeah.
One thing that I had heard was that diamonds and all of the rocks and basically the minerals and everything, they come from the earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's already in the ground. That's in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
God made us from dirt. So if He made us from dirt and that was already in the dirt, that's inside of us. And when He says that we're worth more than that, you have all of diamonds inside of you, you have gold inside of you, you have silver inside of you. So all of that added up, you're worth so much. So you should automatically take pride and realize that, dang, I'm worth, like, beyond, you can't even put a price on me. Like, you're worth so much. So it's important for you to first know your worth, so then you could start taking pride in yourself. So if you don't know that, you're going to be lost.
Yeah.
Also, too, is like back to the part like taking pride in the things that God has blessed you with.
Right.
You have to take care of the things He blessed you with in order to get other things from Him. Because if you're not taking care of things He give you right there, what makes you think He's going to trust you even more with that? So I look at it as you got to take pride in that because He's watching you. Okay, He sees Jordan taking care of his car, his house and stuff. And then later on down the line, say I extend my family and I'm like, you know what? I'm looking for a house. God's going to look back at that and be like, this man Jordan took care of his apartment like it was his last apartment ever. So I'm going to bless him with a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so we like, I know I need to do it more, but take pride in that because God's showing like you're showing God and He's seeing that you really are taking security of the things and you're treating it. And that's when He'll provide you with more because He can trust you with more because He's seen how you did it.
Yeah. There's a scripture that I just came across that literally talks about that. It's another proverb. It says, pride brings a person low, but the lowly in spirit gain honor. And when I hear that scripture say it brings you low, like for example, I think about you in the apartment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you may be doing things where you're like on the ground, cleaning the floors with a toothbrush.
on the baseboards.
Yeah, you're doing the work that some people may think too highly of themselves to do. It brings you low. Yeah. But the lowly in spirit gain honor. You gain honor with God because He sees that. He sees that you're taking pride in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it brings you low. Like I think about Jesus washing feet. Like, all those things that other people may think, I'm too good for that, or I don't want to do that, or that's somebody else's job, or like whatever the case is. If you go low to make sure that you're taking care of those things that God has blessed you with in your life, He sees that and you gain honor in His eyes.
Yeah, I agree with that 1000%.
I like that because that's where you look at some of these celebrities where, they start getting higher and higher and they're famous and stuff. They sometimes forget where they're from. Yeah. And like, that's why some of these people now you see who's like actively in their neighborhood, who are famous and stuff, because they're not forgetting where they came from. Like shout out to them because also too is you not letting that pride and that boost on you because sometimes when you don't do that, you forget who you are and stuff. That's where it's going to be easy for you to lose everything.
Yeah. That's true.
And you will lose who you are and lose everything that's around you. And that's the one thing about it is too, you can't forget your roots. Yeah. You can't forget where you came from. Yeah. Even when God bless you with something, don't forget He blessed you with that because He can take that away for you real quick.
Very quickly. I was just watching the new Jamie Foxx special on Netflix.
Oh, I got to see
And he said something that was so profound. He said, when I forgot about God, God blessed me with a stroke.
Ooh, that's deep.
And he went on, he went on to just talk about it like he had gotten to that place where he had forgot about God and how God did all this stuff for him. And it was, just about him and his abilities and what he could do and all these things. And then he said God blessed him with a stroke to remind him, hey, as quickly as I gave all that stuff to you, I could take it away.
Yeah.
And through the journey of him coming back from the stroke, it's just like he rekindled his relationship with God and all those things. So yeah, that's definitely a big thing when you start to forget what role God has played in all of the things in your life.
Yeah. I was learning something. I was reading something. I wrote it down in my notes, and it says, when we don't remember God, he can't establish his covenants, and he cannot activate your covenant with him. So when we're not acknowledging God, or like you guys were saying earlier about, you acknowledge God and you give the Lord reverence for if he's blessed you with a car. God, I thank you for the car. If we don't remember him, he's not going to basically go and bless you with something else. So if you're not remembering him, you're automatically just squashing the seeds that he wants to give you.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's like, also too is, I hope this doesn't sound, if I'm going off track, it made me thought of the story of Samson, when God blessed him with the hair, and how he was told not to cut his hair, and how he was doing all those things, like, like destroying, killing the Philistines and stuff. But with Delilah, he let someone come in between him and God, and how he said about where his strength came from, cut his hair. As soon as that hair was cut, God left him. And so it had to come to a point where like he let somebody get in between, because he kind of forgot what God told him. And where he was like, Lord, like when he was there, when his eyes got out, he was like, basically like telling him, please remember me. Just give me this one last thing. So, you do sometimes, like how with Jamie Foxx, like he said, God blessed him with a stroke. God blessed Samson with that last strength to kind of finish out everything. So sometimes you'll go through things, but if you acknowledge that you did realize you forgot about God and you own up to it, that's where he's going to show his grace or mercy, if I'm using that right. He's going to show that. And so that's another thing as well.
You're going to still have to face the consequences.
You're going to have to face the consequences, but like at least you acknowledging that and stuff.
Yeah. And just to wrap it up, wrap this conversation up, there's another scripture, another proverb. If you want some good stuff, just go to Proverbs. It's just
honestly, guys,
one after the next of pieces of
just
wisdom.
read the whole Proverbs.
But this is how much God doesn't like pride. The scripture Proverbs 8:13 says, to fear the Lord is to hate evil. And then it goes on to say, I hate pride and arrogance, evil behavior and perverse speech. So God himself basically says, I hate pride. Makes me think of the J. Cole song Pride is the Devil. It's just like and I think the reason he said that is because when you're a very prideful person like that, he gets left out. And he doesn't want that. He wants to be a part of your life, and he wants you to understand the role that he plays in your life.
You're compromising your faith too.
Yeah.
If you start doing that, you're forgetting him.
Yep.
Yeah. Forgetting who he is, because remember, our God is a loving God, but he's also a jealous God.
Facts.
Yeah. So that goes so well with that.
Yeah.
Because it shows too is like you do not want to mess with him. Yeah. He says it. That's why Proverbs is like a wisdom. It's a book of wisdom. Yeah. That's a wise thing right there. Yeah. Like, hey, I'm reminding you.
I hate pride.
Yep, I hate it. And if you use that, I promise you, I'm coming after you.
Not coming after
you. There will be consequences. All right. SOS.
Dun.
SOS.
SOS.
You know what SOS is?
That's the
sermon on the spot.
Sermon on the spot.
So for those of you who don't know, this is where we do 60-second sermons. You get a random topic and you have to give a little sermonette. You don't get any time to think about it. You just got to do it right on the spot with a random topic. Okay. So Erica's gonna go first today.
Bro, that's wild. That's wild.
Hold on, let me find a timer.
I was just about to ask, can you tell me the topic?
I will tell you momentarily.
Spoiler alert, she had me practice for this.
Really? Okay, so we're gonna see how you do.
I didn't have a camera on me, but we'll see.
You know what I want to start on the Christ Culture channel?
What?
I want to start. You ever seen battle rap?
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
I want to start that, but with sermonettes.
That'd be so cool.
That would be cool to have.
That'd be fun. We should do that.
Okay. Erica, your topic for today is. Let me channel it.
I'm already done with you.
Your topic for today is. I'm not gonna give you that. I was about to say aliens. I won't give you aliens.
What am I choosing alien?
It's for you to figure out. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm gonna give you.
You could use aliens. I mean,
A
that's
boat.
a good one.
A boat.
Ready? Go.
So you can say that when you're going through your life, you're in a boat. That boat can also represent God's covering over you. He basically puts you in a solid place, a place of where water can't get in, but he's going to carry you through different things. So a boat, obviously, it has to be on a body of water, some type. So in these bodies of water, harsh storms will come. You're going to have waves that are going to be like outrageous, just dangerous. It might scare you. So the boat may seem like it's going to tip over. It's going to seem like you don't know what's going to happen next. Like you need help. You're going through like something crazy, but you have to remember who's in control of the boat. The boat is on the water, but it's going to get to a destination. So God is going to walk you through that thing that you're going through.
Boom.
Oh, that's good.
All right. Jordan, you're the guest.
Okay.
Do you want to go second or last?
Ooh. No,
Second.
Whoa. I'll go last. I'll go last.
You want to go last?
Yeah.
Okay. So you give me a topic and I'll go.
Okay.
You gonna tell me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say something crazy. Pita bread.
Pita bread. Y'all be trying to get me.
All right, I'm thinking of a good one. Okay. Shot clock.
Shot clock?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you've already did this before.
I've never done shot clock. I promise.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Go.
God does not operate in time the way that we do. God stands on the outside of time. He is not governed by time. We live in time. We see time in a linear format from point A to point B. God sits on the outside. He can see all of time. The old folks used to say, he may not come when you want him, but he's always on time.
Yeah,
and I used to think that meant he would come right in the nick of time. But what they were actually saying was that God is on time, as if he stands on time because he's outside of it. So when you ask God to fix something in your life, although you may not see it fixed at that exact moment, because he stands on time and he's outside of time, he may have already fixed it. You just have not experienced it yet. So wait for it, and it may come at the last second, but don't worry, because the ball is in Michael Jordan's hand and he's going to hit the shot at the shot clock. That's all I say.
That was a good one.
That was bomb.
That was a good one.
Okay. Jordan, your turn. Let's see. Jordan, your topic for today is doors.
That's good.
Yeah, that is a good one.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
And go.
Sometimes when, let's take it like this, you're walking through a dark hallway and it's kind of hard to see. There's going to be times God is going to guide you. He's going to guide you through that dark hallway. Because remember, at the end, there's always a door there. Mm-hmm. But sometimes when it may not seem like there's a door, there's always going to be one. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people don't understand is that when something doesn't go your way or anything like that, they think that door is closed. You got to understand there's always an open door for everything, because God is an open door. His door is always open.
That's good.
The only time when you feel like that door isn't open, or if that door isn't open, is that where you got to check and see for yourself, what have you done for that door to close on you?
Ooh,
that's good.
So like, I look at it as like this: the door is always open for him, but you got to be willing to make it that way. I was struggling on the last part. As soon as I saw the 2-1, I was like, make it.
Good job, guys.
Yeah. People always try to figure out how to end it when they see the title.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I was like, oh, because I felt like I ended at the perfect part. I was in the 5. I was just like, I should have been like, be great.
Go be great, guys.
Go be great.
With love.
With love.
Good episode, guys.
Oh yeah,
Good
it was
episode.
fun. That
so
was
hopefully
fun.
somebody who may be dealing with pride or
Yeah.
whatever the case is will find something in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
As always, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want us to talk about in the future. Jordan, thank you for being on today. I'm sure we'll have you back in
For sure.
the future. And if there is nothing else, then we'll see you guys at the same time next week.
Peace.